Hey, you guys, I just want to mention that the show today, if you've ever wondered about having a reading or going into a deep meditation, I actually do this in this episode. So watch all the way through because I actually have her go into my subconscious and I learn actually how to get deep into my subconscious through my breath work. And it's incredible. I get some answers I wasn't expecting, but I want you guys to see this because I don't want you to be scared or freaked out about having these readings done and going deep into your subconscious because a lot of amazing, powerful information can come out of it. So listen now and stay till the end because there's a special gift at the end that I'm offering. This is going to be a different one. I want to introduce you to Cheryl. She's a spiritual coach, she's a master healer, and she's an author. She has three books out, right?
Yes.
And we're going to do something a little different here. We're going to talk a little bit about her and her practice and all the wonderful things that she does, but we are also going to do a session. So you guys can see what an actual session would be like with her. And I know thinking of going through sessions, there's a lot of question marks for people, and a lot of maybe some people might be scared to do that. So I am going to be your guinea pig. And we're going to do this because I want to show you all what amazing experience it can be. So, Cheryl, welcome so much to Trauma Rock Stars. Tell everybody a
Welcome.
little about yourself and how you became this healer. I know it was by accident like 30 years ago, right?
Yes, yes. Tracy, it really is such an honor to be with you. And thank you for letting yourself be so vulnerable to actually do a session that we haven't even talked about what the focus is going to be or anything.
Right.
Though this is not rehearsed. And yeah, I started doing this work for myself, of course, in the beginning over 30 years ago, over 32 years ago. And it started with meditation. And what happened was I was on the beach and my deceased brother's spirit appeared as a ball of white light and was shining above me and radiating the most love. And he had taken his life. And my friend was there and she felt his presence as well before I even said anything. She was
Oh, that
practicing
just gave me
kinesiology on me. Yeah. And
goosebumps.
and
Yeah.
she said, "It's your brother." And then she said, "He's here." And I said, "I know." And his message was to start meditating. I was suffering from severe depression at the time.
Mm,
But what I really want to talk about is my background years later. I think we go through these different stages of our development, our
hmm
personal growth and spiritual evolution is, a thing now where when I started, it was not.
Right.
Like everybody I knew thought I was quite strange to
Very
start.
taboo.
Not a thing, not a
Yeah.
thing. And it was when I had done a retreat, not an intensive, but I did a week-long retreat for myself, meditating 12 to 14 hours a day in 100% silence, and at the end of it, I got the guidance that I was a spiritual teacher and I needed to start doing the work I did full time. So it was always sort of half-time, or I did it through I wore the hat, played the role through my spiritual interior design business, or I was doing something else to really make the money, to pay the mortgage and everything. And then my meditation classes, the healing were always sort of the side gig. And really step into it full time. And I had a meltdown because what happens whenever we know we're ready to move to the next level. And then when we become clear on it, our stuff will come up at a deeper layer than it ever has before. So for me, it was, who do you think you are? You don't have enough training. I mean, I have spent thousands of dollars and done years of training. So it was kind of funny that that came up. But the
hmm
resistance and what I all went through to get to where I am today was really what I help other women with, because they know that they're ready for the next level of their own evolution. They know that, but
Right.
nothing they've learned, none of the skills that they have help them get there. So it's this
hmm
feeling of sort of feeling like they're stuck. And it's often a sort of a nervous system pattern, a nervous system vibration, shall you say. So I actually help people raise the vibration of their nervous system to match their soul's vibration. So they can move to another level and releasing whatever's getting in the way of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You're speaking to me directly, I think. It's so funny because no matter where we are on our journeys, and I consider I'm not a master, but I consider myself very far along in my healing journey. Still lots of work to do. I'm always going to be doing that. But no matter where you are, there's blocks. Like you feel stuck or you feel off. And when we had first connected, I think I told you I'm kind of at that point right now where I'm juggling a lot. I've got the show, I'm writing a book, I've got my job, I've got all this and I'm really struggling to get to the next level in my meditation practice. And I know that there's some blocks going on. I don't know what they are, and I am feeling a bit stuck. And I think I shared with you that I recently, a couple months ago, I had my first hypnosis session, and I went in there wanting to do a past life regression. Well, that isn't what happened at all. The universe had another message for me, and it was going to take me on this really beautiful journey with my higher self. And one of my guides actually appeared and took me on this very beautiful but therapeutic journey. It's a little scary at times. The journey was a little bit scary at sometimes, but it was really interesting because it was never what I intended. So it gave me what I needed though. So I think going into something like this, you really have to be open. I know we're going to set our intention, but you never know what's going to happen.
That's right, and the more we can actually be open, it's great to have our intentions, and we are in choice at all
Mhm.
times, and yet Source, God, the universe may have different plans for us if we're open,
Yeah.
and so my experience is, I mean, even if you think back who you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we couldn't imagine who we're becoming. But when I work with people, it's a set period of time, not a lot of time. And you can have radical transformation and become the woman you couldn't have dreamed possible. And,
Mhm.
and I love to ask that question. Did you ever think you'd become who you are now? So we can really focus on that and watch our lives change around us.
Mhm.
And you're right, give us exactly what we need.
It's funny when you think when you mentioned 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I never in a million years would have imagined I would be doing this, ever. Was never in the cards, and it's funny how life happens. And as you say that, as we're constantly evolving and becoming the best versions of ourselves, it's like, why don't we live forever so we can constantly be becoming better, and things like that. But I guess that's where you get into past lives and, things like that. But I think it's really interesting how I feel if I had been more open 10 years ago, even 6 years ago when I started my healing journey, I would have been so much more farther along, I think, than I am now. Cause I just wasn't open. I didn't know. I didn't have the tools. I wasn't mentally in that space thinking about that. So that's why I think it's so important for people that are listening. You really have to be in the right mental space. And sometimes we're our own worst enemies, you know?
Yeah, I think becoming open is a process. I look back at myself and the greatest guidance I ever received, I was in resistance to. I used to
Mhm.
think I'm just the queen of resistance,
Yeah.
and we get to where we need to be. And the resistance, the lack of being open, you could describe it as that's all our conditioning. We're all so conditioned to be separate, to live a certain way. We are formed, we are molded as human beings to live in a box and behave.
Mhm.
And we're really breaking out of that. Now there's been a lot of changes. So our resistance is natural because fear will come up, the oh no, that's not possible. And so I think that part is normal and
Mhm.
fear. And to me, what really helped me was when I decided to embrace my resistance,
Yes.
embrace the fear. It's just resistance. It's
Mhm.
just fear. That's my human nature. It's just my conditioning. So I can allow that then to just process it, allow all those emotions to flow through me, and then from a calm nervous system state, see what
Mhm.
happens. Because as soon as we're in resistance, we tense up. The nervous
Right.
system is like, and as soon as we can process that and let it through, then we're open. It's to me, it's a process and we get better and better and better at it until next thing you know, not a lot of resistance anymore, right?
Right. It's funny because I get messages all the time, and I feel like maybe I've gotten too busy. I've got too much going on, and I've gotten too busy that the messages are less than I was getting maybe a month or 2 ago. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's because they say you have to stop and smell the roses, literally. And so the other day I was really feeling stuck. So I grabbed my dog and I went down to the bayfront and I went for a walk and I grounded myself, and it cleared so much anxiety that was in me by able to do that. And I think that we all get so busy with our lives that that's one of the things I think that for me, block the messages that are coming in that you're supposed to be getting in that. Does that make sense?
Yes, because we're also so conditioned to be in our brains and our minds
Mm.
and not being aware. So if we think of, and I'm guilty as well, and yet I've been on the planet long enough that I don't work long hours anymore. I don't work on weekends, or rare if I work on the weekend, I'm going to take time off in the week. I go
Yeah.
for a long walk in nature every day after lunch. I
Mhm.
get outside, I must. My system is I have been walking for a very, very long time
Yeah.
every day. And that helps me stay present. That
Mm.
really helps me be. We are here to be in the world, so being is a different state than sitting on the computer, thinking, organizing, which all has value. It's finding that, and the more we can stay in, and I'm not so much just talking about mindfulness. Mindfulness is great, and it's so much deeper, and even Eckhart Tolle and the power of now and being in present. There is so
I
much.
have it right here.
There you go. There you go, yeah. I remember when that book first came out, I
Yeah.
remember seeing him in Vancouver, in Victoria. No, it was the Victoria store, yeah, and he lived in I don't know if he still lives in Vancouver, and I saw him in a high-end furniture store. But it's the realization, and realization is about inner knowing and moving to a state of knowing that everything is divine, is really one energy. So our souls, so like you said, I wish we could live forever. Well, we do live forever. The soul does, but as you know, I know you're talking about the human self,
Mhm.
but we continue to evolve. But even practicing, having an open eye practice, even closed eye, that everything is divine, is vibrating, and is of source at all
Mhm.
times, and being present. So it's a great practice to even do when you're driving. It's open eye. And I used to, decades ago, I remember 25 years ago, I used to drive and always breathe in the trees. Just
Yeah.
breathe in the trees and the plants and the people and all that sort of thing. And yet so it's sort of how we are in the world, and being is very important. And yet it's hard for us to be in that state when, like you say, we have all these blocks and we have all this conditioning and we have these patterns that have formed in our brains that we are certain ways. And yet because of the brain's neuroplasticity, we can really transform all that. And trauma, what is classified as trauma today is not what was classified as trauma decades ago. And all my clients, the one trauma that they've all experienced at the very least is a lack of an emotional resource. People
Mm.
didn't know how to talk about their feelings, so
Yeah.
children didn't really have anyone to go to process their emotions. The child might cry, and it might be okay to cry, but it might also not be okay. But there was no one there to understand their emotional needs, where now that's a thing for parents,
Mhm.
but that is known as trauma, to not have an emotional resource. Or children were often living in the same home with the parents, and they were completely emotionally neglected, or even
Yeah.
quite neglected. I just met someone whose mother didn't talk to her for months at a time. She didn't when
Mm.
she It wasn't until she went into foster care that she realized adults talk to children. She thought it was very strange, serious neg neglect of
Oh,
connection. And so it's we can release these blocks where the energy, to me, it's the energy is no longer flowing. And that's what I look at when I do readings for people. I do chakra readings, and I can see what the wounding is, where those blocks are. And so it makes it so much easier to know what needs to be released, and then I can also see where the energy is flowing well, because we forget we may have a lot of trauma, or we may have all these wounds, but we all have superpowers, and we all
yeah.
have light, or most of us have light that's flowing through us. I only ever met maybe 2 people since I've been doing readings, so over a long time, who were very dark, were simply very
Wow.
dark. And one of them, all she wanted to do was become psychic. That was her main goal in life, was to become psychic, and I was just like, "Wow, okay." I don't know what her soul's learning was, but she wasn't interested in healing anything. It was just
Yeah.
to
That's
become.
hard because doesn't the one come with the other?
No. Well,
Oh,
it does. I mean, it does come with the other, but my goodness, it would take a long time for it to come to be a clear being.
yeah.
Anyway,
Mm,
every soul has their learning, and I don't know
yeah.
what we all signed up for.
Really interesting. I guess it's too, like you said, how you're going into it, what your, like you said, what your intentions are, because there's work in everything, like you said. I mean, nothing's free, nothing's easy.
And it can become easy.
Yeah.
It's the easy comes later. It
Yeah.
always comes after. It's like the icing. That's the icing on the cake, the ease.
Right. I want people too to understand and listening to this, like the work that's involved, like Cheryl was saying, the easy comes after, it's the icing on the cake, but the actual baking of that cake, though, can be so profound and such an incredible journey that I don't think people should fear that. I think that they should, like me, I'm excited. I'm like, what am I going to learn? I look at it as, it's a tool that's going to help me become better. A lot of people live in fear with things like that. And I think that if people can switch it and look at how exciting it is to like face those blocks and face those challenges and what you learn from them to get to the next level, look at it almost like it's a fun game, you know?
I like that. I like that. It's a fun game. Every fun game is kinda like an adventure,
Yeah.
right? And it's for me, I was just so intent on change. I didn't wanna be in this body as I was. I wanted serious change. So
Mm-hmm.
it was that desire to change no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And expecting the unexpected. "Okay, let's do this," not knowing, because we can't
Yeah.
know what wants to shift, because the subconscious mind is so different than the conscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty of accessing the subconscious, and we're going to go into that some today.
Yep.
Because for me, it's really, I work with people for a brief period of time and teach you how to become your own energy worker, so you can continue to do that. And sure,
Mm-hmm.
eventually there may be this or that that comes up for you that you need a hand with. Sometimes we get stuck along the way, but to learn how to do this, so you can have that adventure, that sort of game that you continue with.
It's a
So
tool.
yeah, and then you get the rewards, and you've got the automatic sort of get out of jail free card that you
Yeah.
pull. It's yours.
And see, that's exciting, and I had somebody on the show, and I was talking to them once, this person had to completely rebuild and reinvent himself at 60. So, it's never too late, right? And I said to him, I'm like, "Why do you think you had to do that at 60 years old, everything. Why do you think people are so reluctant for that change and for what's in store for that? And he said, because it could be massive, depending on what's going on with people. It could be massive. But I think if you don't look at it at this big, huge, massive thing, and you look at it in little steps, it's little baby steps along the way to get you there instead of this big, massive picture. It's not so overwhelming.
Right. And it can be massive. It can
Yeah.
be very exciting and can be massive. But often in the beginning, what feels massive later on doesn't feel like a big deal.
Yeah,
Right.
for me, it was massive, but it wasn't a big deal now that I look at it now, because 'cause I'm like, I got through it. I got to the other side, and I'm like, "You know what? I That really wasn't a big deal because I had already been through the worst of what I was ever gonna go through."
Yeah.
So it really, it took me decades, which I hope people learn, like, do the opposite of what I do. Took me decades, but if I had had the tools and the knowledge and the resources back then, it's a very different now, but now I look at it as, like I said, it's a positive thing. Even with the going into the subconscious, even if something comes up that you weren't that's unexpected, it's still, I don't look at it as a negative. I look at it as a learning tool.
Always a learning tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So what do you like? How do you want to start?
With your intention. So what would you like to get out of this? You talked about feeling like you've got some blocks, you know you're
Hmm.
ready to move to the next level of your own evolution.
Yes. I love meditating. It's like taking your vitamins every day. I have to getting natural sunlight. Like, to me, that's, meditation, and I love it. And I was getting to a point where I almost was feeling it was more getting to be like out of body experience. Like, energy was pulling me out, and I was having really deep, deep breakthrough sessions. And so much so that at one point, and this was just a couple months ago, at one point, I almost felt like, I don't know if it was my guide or what energy was around me, was almost like lifting me out of my body. It was wild. And I got a little freaked out, but then I was like, no, no, you know what I mean? This isn't scary. This is supposed to, get me to, whatever I was supposed to see, at the time. So I was having these really powerful experiences, meditation experiences. And I still do. I mean, it's every day is different. I still do, but not like that. It just stopped, I think, after that. And I got to the point where I was almost feeling touch on my arms. Like, when I was trying to really go deep and connect, like, I almost felt like somebody was touching me. It was interesting. But now it's more me. It's more like just breath work. And I feel like it just kind of, like I said, I stopped. And I don't know if it's just because I've gotten so busy and I'm not taking enough time. Because I'll be honest, there's some mornings that I have to just do my meditation in the shower because my mornings are so busy. But I'll get it in. I get it in. And sometimes I actually enjoy having that time in the shower. It's almost like a cleanse for me too. But I really want to, like, I'm writing this book, and I think I told you I've been looking into like automatic writing and things like that. And I'm writing this book, and I really feel like I'm being guided through it. But I just want to go deeper, and I want to know, like, what's blocking me and what I need to do to keep those blocks from happening again, and things like that. So it's interesting.
Okay. So if you summed it up into one phrase, your intention, one phrase without the word and, what would it be?
One would be to be completely open to receive what's next to come.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to do a quick reading on you. Is that okay?
Of
You can
course.
just relax. You can just
Mhm.
relax. So we'll tune into this, and then we'll do some energy healing. And we're going to do a shorter session than we would normally
Of
do.
course.
This is more just to share. And thank you so much again for letting yourself be vulnerable. All right. So I just say a prayer silently, and then I tune into you. And usually when I do a full reading, and what I'd like to do is offer your listeners, anyone listening at home, a complimentary chakra reading, which I haven't given away in years, and I was
Oh,
gonna
that would be
do that.
wonderful.
So I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna put a link here, and you can all have a complimentary chakra reading so you can see where your blocks are and where your superpowers are, where your light is flowing." So that's
That's what
the
I would that's I guess you just gave me the sentence. Show me where my light is, or show me what my superpowers are.
Alright, alright. So let me tune in. I'll just say my prayer for Tracy. Well, this is interesting. So sometimes this happens. What's getting in your way right now is your sense of intuition. It's like this dark gray energy right in front of your eyes. Really hard for you to see the truth in things. It's like your intuition is blocked. And this is not, when we have wounds, I see it inside your being, and this is out in your field. So the nice thing is I can clear this for you really quickly. Would you like me to just remove this?
Absolutely.
All right. It's almost like being blindfolded, almost like like a rectangle right in front here. Can you just say silently or out loud, I'm allowed. I'm allowed to see the truth in all things.
I'm allowed to see the truth in all things.
Nobody can stop me from seeing the truth in all things.
Nobody can stop me from seeing the truth in all things.
I choose to see the truth in all things.
I choose to see the truth in all things.
I'm really aligned to that. So if you can imagine you have light running up and down your spine, way above you and below you, I align to the truth in all things. I align to seeing the truth in all things. Really good. Really good. So were you gaslit at any point in your life? Like seriously, where people tell you something's true that's not, or
I've had trust issues my entire life.
yeah, that's what this is. So, okay. Right. So, that's the number one thing you needed to hear today. And so I don't always do this type of work, but when I need to, we
Mhm.
just did it. So good for you. That's really been getting in your way. And I get down into your root chakra, which is so much about safety and stability, primarily, which moves into trust and faith, and fundamentally at the highest level, responsibility and accomplishment, and responsibility for what our souls came here to do and be. And so you've really developed, this is so nice to see this underlying, you're spiritually grounded, you've got some really lots of light down low, like a nice foundation. You don't get knocked over sideways very easily, and there's still some, let me tune into this here. You've definitely got a strong sense of purpose, and what's coming up, it's like you've done a lot of this work around not being enough or feeling like you don't matter, but it's really this subconscious belief that you're not enough
Mm,
that's getting in the way. And the really good thing about this, it's not solid black, so that's what tells me you've done a lot of work. So there's sort of some light mixed in, but it's gray. It's
mm,
gray, and there's a whole layer in here, and it's big. This is some old conditioning that you may have carried forward from lifetimes, but you need to heal it in this lifetime. And so this is really coming up, the not enough. And the other really great thing that's going on, your forward dimension in the root chakra. So moving forward with accomplishment, lot of light, very strong, very strong. But a part of you feels like you're not going fast enough.
mm,
There's like within you a sense of urgency. So it's really bright, and yet, yeah, how do I say it? It's you're not aligned with your inner knowing that you're going at the perfect pace. There's an urgency in you. You've likely moved quickly in the past.
mhm,
You kinda do things fast, so this is your nervous system still has this going on, that this sense of urgency and rushing, that kinda thing. So this is going against you, because when you move forward with your inner knowing, time is an illusion. It's everything is happening at once, and you are all that you're becoming already, if that makes any sense. But this sense of urgency and kinda rushing is working against you, because you don't get into that calm state of knowing and enjoying, like thoroughly enjoying the process, and even if I dare say celebrating it. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. So this is what's really getting in that, well, the eyes, the not seeing is getting in the way of you being fully open because you can't trust or you couldn't trust was an issue and trusting
Mhm.
your intuition, and then this sort of rushing urgency, and that's often a symptom of trauma, early childhood trauma, that people rush and that sort of thing. So we can work on all of this today. Normally I go through and look at all the chakras, but time is of the essence here,
Right.
and, so I think this is really, we can really work with this. That makes sense?
I think you hit the nail on the head because I am in this. First of all, the trust, I've had trust issues my whole life since my accident and, all of that happened and the assault and everything. And then, as far as what you had said about feeling rushed because I'm so passionate about everything I'm working on right now, I want it to happen now. And like you said, it's working against me. And everything you said is 100%. I'm like, "Yeah, I am, I am." Like, I'm like, "The book, I have to be done with the book by July. It's gotta be out on market by the holidays." Like, why am I putting time frames on everything, you know? Why am I in such a rush with everything and juggling and then, like you said, the trust issues and the what else did you mention? How did you say it?
But
The
not enough.
yeah.
The subconscious,
Yeah.
not enough, and so it's performing, it's producing, so
I've
and
gotten a
so
lot better with that part. The not enough. I've done a lot of work with that. Yeah.
you have, that's more than evident because it was
Yeah.
much more gray, no black. Usually,
Right.
I'll see solid black when it's a
Mhm.
really strong issue, but that's what I was saying, and so this is part of your next level. That is a block to move into, I am enough, and what if you just looked at your calendar and you just set aside time to enjoy writing the book?
Right.
What if you just kick back and every whatever Tuesday morning for 4 hours, you just wrote the book and
Right.
enjoyed it? And what wants to come through you, that you became a channel, your intuition, the universe just guided you, and
Mhm.
here's the book, and it was
Right.
used, right? But this is your nervous system. This is we all have our nervous system is in a certain way. It's not just a matter of having anxiety. It's, oh no, your nervous system is rushing. I'm not enough. There's not enough time. Got to get all this done. And it comes from you're passionate and you have all this creative expression. I know if I went up to your sacral chakra, I would see that light
Yeah.
forward.
It's
And
on
for
fire.
sure.
Yeah.
And yet, the nervous system is not just in flow and celebration and relaxed and joyous, it's tense. There's still a tension in that, and I
Mhm.
know it very well myself.
Right. Yeah.
I know it really well. So
Yes.
are you
Yeah.
ready to lie down? So I'm gonna be guiding you to do what's called Hara breathing or what's called a full breath. So thank you again, Tracy, for doing this. And you're lying down, you're pretty comfortable. And you can be, on a bed, on the floor, yoga mat, whatever. And what we're going to do to help you go into your subconscious, we are going to use a full breath. And you can also call it Hara breathing. When I got my diploma in acupressure, a long, full breath changes the brain function. So when we breathe below the navel, it helps us access the subconscious. So right now, when we're just talking and we're breathing with the back of the brain. And as soon as
Mhm.
we engage the abdominal muscles in the lower abdomen, that'll change that brain function of the normal breath to the frontal lobal brain, and it gives us access to the subconscious. So,
Okay.
all right. And so I'm just going to prepare myself a little bit, and I want you to focus in your heart chakra. If you can just close your eyes, and this is going to be interactive. You can talk at any time. I'll ask you what's going on for you. If you just really sink into your heart and tune again into your intention to be completely open to receive what's next to come and to really step into all your light and your superpowers. Just breathe into that and I'll prepare myself. Okay, really good. And so now I invite you to bring your awareness down to your root chakra, which is at the tip of the tailbone. Yes, you bring your awareness down there, and I want you to use a long, full breath, letting your belly rise up. So not breathing in the chest, letting your belly rise up, and breathe into this subconscious belief, I'm not enough, or this feeling of rushing. I have to get my book done. I have to get this. You're very excited. You're very passionate about, you're enthusiastic about your work. And yet there's this tension in your body with the rushing. And so you bring your eyes way down and you're breathing in that area. And science has proven that trauma is imprinted in the subconscious through physical sensations and emotions, not through linear memories. Any memories are always fragmented. So I invite you to just notice if you have any physical sensations when you breathe into this. What do you notice in your body or any emotions? If you let us know what's happening for you, Tracy.
I feel very still and relaxed.
Just very relaxed? Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. So I invite you to think of writing your book, working on the projects that you're working on, and this urgency. And let's really let your belly rise up like a balloon in the belly, not the chest, letting your belly rise up. Good job. To 6 or 8 seconds in and 6 or 8 seconds out. Squeezing the belly at the end of the exhale. The sort of energy of need to get it done. Breathing into that. Busy, busy, busy. Rushing. Yeah, long, full breaths.
Wow, that squeezing at the end really gives you quite the sensation.
So what do you notice with that? What's the sensation?
It's very tingly.
Good. So that's energy moving. And how does it feel in your body to be rushing, to have that sense of urgency? If you just want to scan your body, notice your legs, your arms, your torso, your head, urgency and rushing. That's it. Keeping the breath going, letting the belly blow up 6 to 8 seconds in, 8 seconds out. Good job. Noticing any emotions or even a memory.
I'm getting this very exciting sensation.
Exciting. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So just breathe into that. It's exciting. And how do you feel exciting in your body? What do you notice?
It's just like this tingling, but it's exciting, like almost like a door's opening up.
Okay. And are you enough? Are you enough to get it all done the way you want?
Yes.
Awesome. So now I invite you to follow this feeling of excitement. Follow this feeling of excitement back into when it first began in your childhood. So on the exhale, you're going to exhale to the count of 6 or 8 seconds, and you're going to go back in time on the exhale to when you first became really excited about doing something. Exhale fully. And you're letting your subconscious take you back. And you'll come to a time definitely before the age of 10, maybe even before the age of 5, when you felt very excited and like doors opening. And what
Christmas
do you
morning.
notice? Sorry?
Christmas morning.
Okay, Christmas morning. I want you to breathe into the excitement. How old are you about, roughly?
6, 7.
All right, so let's breathe into the excitement. Just let yourself feel all that excitement. Yeah, let yourself feel all of it. How does it feel in your body? Is it the same tingling?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So breathing into it in the root chakra, all that excitement. And then I invite you to let yourself drop down into the emotion that's underneath the excitement. It's like you're just going to, on the exhale now, you're going to inhale to the count of 6 or 8 seconds, keeping your eyes in your root chakra. And then you're going to drop down into the excitement and through it. And you're going to sort of fall down into another emotion that's underneath at around the age of 6. And this is likely an emotion that you weren't really able to feel. That's it. Breathing fully, letting yourself really be that 6-year-old and dropping down into an emotion you might not have been able to feel at that time or process. What wants to be felt?
I go back and back then I felt like I didn't feel enough, like I was enough.
You could feel that I wasn't enough. So you're excited it's Christmas. But
Yeah.
this feeling of I feel like I'm not enough. Let's breathe into that. That's it. Using your lower abdomen, you're doing great. Really be that 6-year-old. I feel like I'm not enough. And really let yourself feel all of that, how it feels in your body, what the emotion feels like. And is there another emotion that goes with it? If you just, as the 6-year-old, finish the sentence, I feel, and let the word come.
I feel excited.
I feel excited. And when you feel that I feel not enough, what else goes with that? That you may not have known the word when you were 6, but you're 6 years old now, And your subconscious knows how else you felt.
I feel like I just didn't appreciate everything that I had.
You feel unappreciative.
I couldn't see, like, the beauty in everything in front of me,
Uh-huh.
and was in feeling grateful for that.
Okay.
I just would compare to, like, what my friends would get, you know?
Is that where the "I feel like I'm not enough,"
Yeah,
feel not enough, so your friends would get more?
yeah,
Okay, so let's breathe into that. I
and
feel
not
like
realizing that I had enough, you know?
right, but that's very valid. Feel like I'm not enough.
But I was more than enough, I can see it.
Yeah, your adult self, so let's keep using the full breath and try and stay as the 6-year-old and have this experience. You didn't appreciate it. You knew your friends would get more. This is valid. This is valid. And did you have anyone to turn to talk about this?
Hmm?
Did you have anyone that you could talk to about
No.
what would happen if you tried?
I think I felt ashamed and ungrateful, you know, and ashamed of
Ah.
that.
Okay, let's breathe into I feel shame and notice how your body feels that. Yeah. So exhale completely. Good job on the breath. And then a slow inhale. I feel shame. Yeah, keeping your eyes in the root chakra as the 6-year-old. I feel shame. Normal response. We all have some kind of shame. I feel shame. Anything else you notice when you breathe into the shame?
Just this uneasy feeling.
Okay, let's breathe into I feel uneasy. Not really be the 6-year-old. I feel uneasy. That's it. Long inhale, long exhale. I feel shame and I feel uneasy. And how do you feel that in your body? Do you notice any sensations? The shame and uneasy, what that feels like?
Yeah, just like butterflies, like not good ones.
Not good butterflies. Let yourself feel those. That's how the body stored it. Yeah, keep breathing into I feel shame and I feel uneasy. And so it's never necessary to totally relive anything. This is just touching into the emotions. And so we let them flow through. It's like we're just kind of poking at them and we let them flow through. And we're gonna keep this short because we're doing a podcast episode. Otherwise we could keep going. So I think that's good. And so I invite you, little 6-year-old Tracy, hear me, please. You didn't deserve any of that shame. It's not your fault, all the uneasy feeling. Not your fault at all. You did nothing wrong. You just didn't have anyone to turn to help you process your emotions. Not your fault at all. But I have some really good news. I have your adult self with us here today. And she's so loving and kind, and she's one of the best listeners I know. So I invite you, adult Tracy, to go into the room with your little 6-year-old self, and you're going to listen to her tell you how she's feeling. So I invite you to become your little 6-year-old again and let your adult self pick you up and put you as a 6-year-old on your adult self lap. And you can tell her how you feel ashamed because the other kids get more at Christmas and you feel like you're not enough and you feel uneasy and these not very nice butterflies. Yeah, you tell your adult self all the truth. Everything that's happening for you, the truth. That's it. That's it. Good job. Good job. And then you become your adult self and you really hear her. You can give her a big hug and you can reflect back to her that you really understand. And her feelings are all okay. They just are, and whatever else you need to tell her. And how much you love her, even when she feels shame. She's still lovable. And she's enough. She matters so much. That's it. And so you really focus on the exhale. You can look into her eyes with all the love you have in your heart. And you tell her everything she needed to hear back then, but nobody had the skills to tell her and to really hear her. That's it. Tell her how much you love her.
Wow, I just got some interesting answers.
When share with us if you can.
Yeah,
If
I will.
sorry?
Yes, I will.
Okay. All right. And then I invite you, do you want to share with us now?
I will when we're done.
Okay. So I invite you to shift into being the 6-year-old and really let yourself be held by your adult self who just loves you unconditionally. That's it. And you really focus on the inhale now. Really breathe in, let your belly expand, breathing on all that unconditional love, the understanding, the kindness and caring that you got from her. That's it. And then how do you feel now as the 6-year-old? If you finish the sentence, I feel.
Loved.
I feel love. Breathe into that. Notice how it feels in your body. Keep inhaling. You're really receiving it. If you can bring in light as well. I am loved.
And I am enough.
I am enough. You sure are. I am loved. I am enough. Notice how that feels in your body. And how do you feel about life? Life is, if you can finish that sentence,
Incredible.
life is incredible. Right? Really good. And so, do you two promise to get together every day and breathe with the full breath into these truths? I am loved, I am enough, and life is incredible. All right, let's tuck your little 6-year-old into your root chakra, and you can visit with her every day for the next week or so. And whenever it feels right, you can open your eyes.
My entire life, I've never felt satisfied. I've never felt like I've had enough. I've always been like more, 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 right? I want more, 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 more. And that is where it comes from. It comes from that feeling. And I know now in my adult life, I do have more than enough, but I've been carrying that all these years because I grew up in in a lower income, like not poverty, but a lower middle class, I guess you would say, family. And I always identified things as material things. No one ever talked to me about maybe let's look at how beautifully this gift is wrapped. It doesn't matter what's in the
Yeah,
gift.
people did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nobody talked like that.
No, but I know that now as an adult, but I'm like, "Oh, well, I got this easy bake oven." That's what I was remember those back in the day?
Yes, I didn't get one.
Yeah, I'm like, "I got this easy bake oven." That's what I was seeing, and I remember that, but it was just I never felt like it was enough. I wanted more, 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 more. I was always comparing to what other people were getting more, and I've always had this sense that I've never been satisfied. Like, I'm very difficult to buy gifts for. I've always been very difficult to buy gifts for. Why? A gift is a gesture of love. Like, why am I difficult to buy gifts for? This is where it stems from.
Yeah, and it would be interesting to go back earlier to when the I'm Not Enough first began, because it didn't begin when you were 6. And
Yeah.
so my guess is, we could do another session, but, we could continue this, but my guess is you inherited it from your mother in the womb, that this is
Possibly.
so
Yeah.
ingrained in your system. That's why it's so profound. That's why, and you've really worked on this. You've really worked on this. But it's and definitely before the age of 2, but we take on if the mother feels like she's not enough so
She and
strongly.
she does. I mean, she and I talk about this.
Yeah.
She does. And I know obviously now I'm confident. I know I'm enough. But I know where now that stems from because like never like I said, why am I so difficult to buy gifts for? A gift's a gift. It's a
Well,
gesture of love and
let's
kindness.
let's go back to your intention.
Yeah.
Let's go back to even the energy reading of the root chakra. So you have all the confidence, you have all this light moving forward, you have a strong sense of purpose, but the urgency. It's the urgency
Yes.
rushing resonate with the vibration of I'm not enough.
Yes.
It's never enough.
Yeah.
I need to go faster. It's all that is in your nervous system. So we've gone back, so you should be able to relax more.
Yeah.
That it'll start and there's still more. But this can go back, and it's about shifting the nervous system that I'm already enough.
Yeah.
The time doesn't matter, and that to really embody the everything, not even
Yeah.
not even just the gifts, but who you are and your state of being.
Mhm.
Because the state of being, yes, you have a lot of light, but this is also playing in the background all the time. Shame, I'm not enough. I feel shame and I feel uneasy.
Mhm.
So it's like you're
That's what it was. It was a very uneasy feeling. Yeah.
So this is always going on. It's always playing. And so that's where you're vibrating. So you've got this high vibration in many ways, but it brings it down. So that's why I could feel this, like there's so much light and you're just like on a mission. It's so strong and amazing, but this kind of almost jittery and it's kind of tense. Yeah. The uneasy. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh yeah, it's not like that.
Yeah.
And that's where
Yeah.
you get to, because now you're loved, you're enough, and life is incredible.
And I can let that go now because now, like you said, this probably went on in the womb, but now, maybe 6, 7, 8 was the first time that I can go back to remember. But now I know where it's stemming from, and I had that feeling as a child. So now I can let that go because that's not me. That is not me.
That's
And
right.
yeah,
But if you let it go just from your mind, so we have the awareness, which is not healing. The awareness helps the brain, but
right.
it's the emotions that you carry. That's why it would be useful for you to go back. It's the earliest time that you felt that, because then what happens, we have a domino effect
Mm,
into the future. So we've let this go from age 6, but we haven't let it go from age 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, if it existed. And so then what happens, that is still running. So you'll notice a difference for the 6 forward. And then it'll be less, but it's not complete. And there's always, the layers. So that's the part
right.
where it's the deeper layers for that.
I'm just gonna turn my light on. Yeah, it was really interesting. I was like, okay. And I did. Like I went back and, I gave her that little 6-year-old Tracy that talk that she needed so she could understand, and I do that a lot when I meditate. I go back like to my inner child and things like that, but I've never had those answers come to me. And I wasn't expecting that, Cheryl.
Well,
So
that's because you're in your subconscious.
yeah,
Because you were in the breath, and when you were saying, "Oh, well, no, my adult self knows all this," earlier on, you
yeah,
would stop doing the full breath, so you're out of your
yeah,
subconscious, so then I helped you get, and then we all do that in the
yeah.
beginning, but it's if you use the full breath, then those answers, plus I had just cleared this
You
for
can pop it. You can using that full breath snaps you back in
yeah.
where yeah. And this is people that are listening, because I say this all the time. You can get all the answers you need if you have these tools to do it. And I mean, there's so many different layers of this, but I just wanted to share one aspect of it. Now that you taught me this, I will be using this now, like when I meditate tonight, I'll be using this and, wanting, because I want to see her again. I want to see that little 6-year-old again. I do. And the 7 and 8 and even 4,
All the time.
all of her. So and this is really good. And I was seeing things. This is where, you see things that aren't necessarily positive things, but you need to see those layers of yourself to know where you're at and why you might still be carrying this. Because, like you said, my conscious isn't like that, obviously, but it's still embedded in my subconscious back in there, and that's one of the blocks.
Yes, yes. And it's about releasing the emotions. It's feeling the emotions, feeling the physical sensations. So you had some tingling and you had those
Oh
uncomfortable
yeah,
butterflies.
very
How the
uneasy. Yeah,
That's how the body stores it, stores
yeah.
the wound, stores the trauma. So you did a beautiful job, Tracy.
How do you find out what your superpowers are, Cheryl? Because I am like
Well,
wanting to know.
we can do a full chakra
I'll
reading.
schedule one with you
Yeah,
off
we'll do a
camera.
full chakra reading, and it's really so one of your superpowers is your capacity to move forward no matter what.
Yeah.
It's, you've got
Resilience,
that.
yeah.
But I go through all the chakras and see where you're the brightest and where you have unique gifts that are really unique to you. And that's where your light is. And you can use that light to help you heal where the blocks are.
That's amazing. So that's what I'm saying. People listening, if they want to schedule this with you, and I encourage them to record it so they have that to reflect back to.
Yep. So we'll put the link in the show notes.
Oh
And
yeah, I'll put all
also,
your everything in there, everything in the show notes. This was
You're not
amazing.
gonna find that link anywhere else. I would say you can go to my website, but I charge for it there on starofdivinelight.com, but it's still there's still resources on there for you and that sort of thing, but yeah, we'll put the link here in the show notes.
Yeah,
I will
so
just
it's Star of Divine Light Institute that you have, and it's starofdivinelight.com. We'll include it all in there, and then I'll include that link that people can go into the show notes and get that if they want to do a quick, just to test it out, test the waters, and then they can schedule a full. And how long for me to schedule with you? How long would a full session be?
We can do 20 minutes. That's the average is 20 minutes.
Oh,
I
okay.
do
That's
I
not
do full
bad.
hour readings there a lot longer, but usually you don't need more than 20 minutes.
That's great. So that's so people, if you're busy, there's no excuse. 20 minutes. That's all. Okay. Well, this has been awesome. Do you have any last, words you want to share with the listeners? Maybe some debunk some myths or things like that, or things, to make people.
I just want to say that, we are all powerful beyond what we can imagine, powerful beyond what you can currently believe. And it is like Tracy, like you said, it's about opening yourself up to, even if you feel fear, resistance, to just embrace that. They're just emotions.
Yeah.
And it's that inner desire to know that you're meant for more and taking those steps on your journey. So we're all powerful way beyond what we can imagine.
That's a great way to close this, Cheryl. And if everybody that you're listening, if this resonated with you, please share, subscribe. Share this with anybody that you think might benefit, because we're all stuck in one way or another. And, we all have blocks, and that's normal. So don't think it's abnormal. So please, and I will have you get in touch with Cheryl, because you do not want to not do this for yourself. You can't afford not to do it, I guess, is the best thing I want to say. But thank you so much. And Trauma Rockstars is honored to have you on.
Thank you so much, Tracy. It's been an honor to be here with you. And thank you once again for being so vulnerable.
Thank you.
The content on this podcast revolves around personal life experiences and is meant to serve as a learning tool. I am not a certified therapist or medical expert. This podcast doesn't offer medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're curious about your mental or physical well being, feel free to reach out to a licensed healthcare professional for assistance.